Before we hear from the Magpies head coach, let's have a look again at the two teams, shall we? And it's 3 changes for both. Firstly, Newcastle, with Matt Targett coming in for only a 5th Premier League start of the season and a 1st since September. Callum Wilson replacing Alexander Isak in attack, and Miguel Almiron starting in place of Jacob Murphy on the right-hand side. The 2 goals in the opening 9 minutes against Spurs, not enough for Murphy to keep his place in the team. So it's Pope in between the posts, Trippier, Schär, who has overcome a hamstring problem to start, Botman and Targett from right to left at the back, Bruno, Longstaff and Willock in midfield, Almiron, Joelinton and Wilson, who has scored 6 times in his last 5 appearances against Everton, including both here for Newcastle a couple of years ago in a behind closed doors match that they won by 2 goals to 0. A bench of Dubravka, Lascelles, Gordon, who was booed quite loudly when he came out to warm up by the Everton supporters, Ritchie, Isak, Manquillo, Murphy, Anderson, Byrne. More boos because Gordon and the Newcastle subs have gone back over to the touchline, as have some of the starting 11, although they are next to the away section. The home fans in the corner have found it within themselves to direct some noise towards those in Newcastle colours tonight. So Everton with their team, Pickford in goal. Ben Godfrey comes in for Mason Holgate, who's suspended after being sent off at Crystal Palace at the weekend, and he'll play at right back with Michael Keane, James Tarkowski in central defence, and Vitaly Mykolenko, signed by Rafa Benitez for Everton last January for £18 million, completing the back 4. Midfield 3 of Idrissa Gueye, and then the 2 players either side of him have been restored to the Everton starting 11 tonight. They are Abdoulaye Doucouré, who is just back from a 3-match suspension, and Amadou Onana, the 21-year-old Belgian international who last season was playing with Newcastle's Sven Botman at Lille in France. Then the front 3, Alex Iwobi, Dwight McNeil and Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who has again been limited by injuries this season. 1 goal in his 12 Premier League appearances in this campaign. Everton's bench: Asmir Begovic the keeper, Nathan Patterson, Damari Gray, Yerry Mina, Neil Mopé, Tom Davies, Conor Cody, the defender on loan from Wolves, hasn't played for 2 months for Everton, just out of favour, has been a substitute in that time. James Garner and the former Sunderland loan player Ellis Sims, who has scored once in 9 Everton appearances since returning from his loan at Wearside halfway through the season. It's BBC Radio Newcastle. Everton's players have gone back into the changing room. Newcastle's substitutes are just heading down the tunnel now as well, with a little over 10 minutes to go until kick-off on a cloudy early evening in the city of Liverpool on Merseyside. Rain is forecast. It's chilly tonight as well. It's just about 10 degrees at the moment. The temperature's expected to drop quite a bit during the match. Anthony Gordon there making his way down the steps and up the tunnel. Every time he's been near any Everton fans, he's had the booing, which you expect, and it'll happen all night. Yeah, if he comes on, he'll get a lively welcome. There's no doubt about that. If he goes to warm up, he'll get a lively welcome. I suppose he has to expect it, I suppose, but okay, it's part and parcel, isn't it? He's not the first, he won't be the last to get it. So Newcastle, not a great record at Goodison Park, as we've been mentioning. 1 win in 10, that was a couple of seasons ago behind closed doors, and it's actually only 2 victories for United in their last 18 outings at Everton's Goodison Park. So it's been an unhappy away day for the team and for the supporters. 3,000 of them here tonight, occupying part of the stand on the opposite side of Goodison Park as we look to the right-hand side in the lower and upper section. Still a really good away following. This match is always moved to a midweek evening kickoff, isn't it? The one time it wasn't in recent memory, Ando, was that match that had nobody here to witness it behind closed doors.
Yeah, it always seems to be a midweek game here. Strange for it to be a Thursday night, but that's the way the game's going. We've got to get used to playing all different times, all different nights, all different days. Modern game.
Might be a bit more of that next season as well.
Could well be.
But they'll be hoping to avoid the Thursday nights though, if they can, and get into the Champions League rather than the Europa League next season. Well, last season Newcastle were beaten here late on, despite Everton having had a player sent off in a game that, as I'm sure you'll remember, was delayed after a protester tied himself to a goalpost.
Yeah, I thought we handled it pretty well for the majority of the game. As you say, the protest incident, I thought, probably knocked us more than them. We never really fully recovered from that moment. Not sure that's something you can prepare for, but it happened. Probably the most disappointing thing from last year was when we went to 11 v 10 and we didn't control the game in the way that we wanted. That's when they scored their goal. So lessons were learnt from actually how that goal was conceived. So we did a lot of work off the back of that, and hopefully it made us a better team for the experience.
They are in trouble at the bottom of the table, but how have they changed since Sean Dyche's appointment, would you say?
So yeah, they've had a difficult season, a change of manager. Sean's come in, he's vastly experienced. He's almost the perfect man for the job, because he's been there many times and he's always found a way to keep his team up. Did an incredible job at Burnley, and now comes into Everton, and I think he has his style and his way of playing, and I think the positive thing for them is he has the players to execute that plan. So we're going to need to be very strong mentally, physically. We're going to need to be robust. We're going to need to stand up to the challenges that we face and then show our quality.
From the outside looking in, it feels like Anthony Gordon didn't exactly leave Everton in the happiest of circumstances. How do you manage that situation with him tomorrow night?
Yeah, it's very difficult for me to comment on how he left, because I'm not party to what happened and what went on. I can only really comment on the player that I've seen, and he's been very, very good, trained really well, very, as I've said many times, very passionate, wants to achieve, wants to do really well in his career. So from that side, yeah, what happened at Everton I can't really comment on, but he's fine and he's in a good place and he's looking forward to the game.
Still a very young player though, but you've seen, would you say, the maturity and the intelligence to deal with a difficult situation and what could be a tough atmosphere for him if he's selected and if he plays a part?
Well, I think the beauty of it is he's seen the Everton crowd many times. He's been at the club, was at the club a long time, so he will have no surprises about what to expect. I'm sure he's seen other players go back and receive mixed reception, so hopefully he's seen enough to be robust enough to deal with what happens.
And just lastly, I know you've talked about this before and last season, I think, when Newcastle played Everton, but can you just remind us why they were the club that you used to watch when you were younger, and how that happened, what the connection was?
The connection was the 1984 FA Cup final, the first game that I remember watching on telly. And the telly in those days was about that big, and you could barely see it. But it was that game I remember, and Everton won, and that was the team I followed from there.
Total Sport. BBC Radio Newcastle.
Into the area, Joelinton's got space, might hit it. Joelinton, good save. The rebound is put in, and Jacob Murphy has put it into the net after only a minute. Diagonal ball, Joelinton making the run. Joelinton's in. He's gone around Lloris and makes it two. Joelinton with an absolutely brilliant finish from the ball over the top, around Lloris and into the net. And it's a quite incredible start. Cher, strong out of defence to beat Son to the ball. Murphy's had a go from all the way. Jacob Murphy has scored an absolutely unbelievable goal. This really could be anything. Burn makes the block and then a tackle and a good challenge, and Bruno rolls it forwards and passes it to Willock. And Willock, what an unbelievable ball. Alexander Isak one-on-one. Did you expect any other outcome? They've got 4. Here they go again. Longstaff into the corner on the right. Back to Isak. Has another goal! This is outrageous! Alexander Isak has scored 2 goals in 2 minutes, and Newcastle United have 5.
Matthew Raisbeck and black and white legend John Anderson.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
6-1 on Sunday, but we didn't bother with the other 2 goals there. Just the 5 in 21 minutes, surely never to be repeated. Still trying to process quite what happened in that explosive opening to the match against a Spurs team that was in total disarray, but Newcastle electric, taking full advantage. Now, I don't think there's anybody that will be expecting them to hit loads of goals from the start tonight, and it would be incredible, probably hilarious if they could do it again.
I'm sure there's a few people that have had a little bet on it.
Just going to say, because we were talking last week on Total Sport on BBC Radio Newcastle to a fan who'd had a bet on 5-0.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone had 6-1.
Yeah, and I said after 20 minutes, unlucky.
Yeah. I wonder if anyone's bet on 0-0 tonight. Maybe think that the goals have stopped temporarily, but Everton will be. Do you think they'll be wary of that? I think they will want to try to force the issue, backed by a noisy home crowd tonight, but they have to be aware of how Newcastle blew Tottenham away. Inside 10 minutes it was over. It didn't take 21 minutes to be over. It was done, probably done at 1-0, but definitely by 3.
Yeah, I think they will have seen that. I don't expect Everton to be as weak as Everton. I think they'll be more physical. I think they'll get in our face. I think they'll try and rough us up a little bit. They'll try and get the crowd on side. As I said earlier on, Razor, you know, the one thing you don't want is to give them any sort of a lift at all, because we've been here in the past. We know what the atmosphere can be like when they get on top. It can be boisterous. It can be intimidating. You want to get the crowd turned if possible, you know. And in recent away games, we haven't started games well. You know, we could have been a goal down inside 30 seconds at Villa, goal down inside a minute at West Ham. So we need to be wary of that, and we need to start quicker. Look, they know what's at stake here tonight. You know, results went their way last night with Brighton getting turned over by Forest. So it's a huge, huge opportunity for us to get another 3 points on the board tonight.
A reminder that Aston Villa and Liverpool had good results in this midweek period, and it may be those two rather than Spurs. Villa 5th and Liverpool in 6th that Newcastle will be most concerned about. The Manchester United game against Tottenham at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium is an 8:15 kickoff. There is another match of significance in the Premier League tonight, and it's at the bottom, South Coast meeting between Southampton, bottom of the table, and Bournemouth, who are 4 points clear. That one, like this, is a 7:45 kickoff. Players are out onto the field, and they've been greeted by fireworks from outside the stadium. That's where they're being set off from. There have been a couple of flares and smoke bombs set off at the Gladys Street end of Goodison Park, away to our left. To help you picture it better, we are on the opposite side to the television cameras, so near the back of the main stand, where the 2 dugouts are. So if you are following this with TV pictures, then it will look the other way around to how we describe it, such as the layout of the media seating and the TV gantry for the cameras at Goodison Park, a ground that Everton intend to leave in a couple of years. They're hoping to be in their new Bramley-Moore dock on the River Mersey Stadium by the start of the 24-25 season. 52,000 it is expected to hold. Goodison Park just under 40, and they won't want to be in a new stadium in the Championship. They'll want to be a Premier League club. For them, it's about survival. For Newcastle, it's about European football for next season, ideally the Champions League, and they can take another big step towards that tonight with a big game on Sunday against Southampton peering over the horizon as well. The teams: Everton, Jordan Pickford in goal, Ben Godfrey, Michael Keane. Got a late equaliser here against Spurs earlier this month for Everton. James Tarkowski and Vitaly Mykolenko as a back four. Idrissa Gueye, Amadou Onana and Abdoulaye Doucouré in midfield, with Alex Iwobi the scorer of the 99th minute Everton winner against Newcastle at Goodison last season. Dwight McNeil, who has 4 goals since his move from Burnley last summer. Dominic Calvert-Lewin up front. Their bench: Asmir Begovic, Nathan Patterson, Damari Gray, Yerry Mina, Neil Maupay, Tom Davies, Connor Cody, James Garner and Ellis Sims. And Newcastle United, like Everton, 3 changes. Pope in goal, Trippier, Schär, Botman and Targett at the back. Bruno, Longstaff and Willock in midfield. Almiron, Joelinton and Wilson. It's Targett for Byrne, Almiron for Murphy, Wilson for Isak. The 3 players who drop out of the 11 are all named as substitutes, along with Dubravka, Lascelles, Gordon, Ritchie, Manquillo and Anderson. Everton in blue shirts, white shorts and white socks, Pickford all in orange, Pope wearing yellow, and the outfield players in the white and green kit likened to the Saudi Arabian national team kit. They haven't won a competitive match, Newcastle, this season, wearing the white and green.
Thanks for telling us that, Razor.
Sheffield Wednesday, Crystal Palace, Manchester United and Wolves, I think, off the top of my head. 1 defeat, few draws. Maybe that'll change tonight, hopefully. We're underway. BBC Radio Newcastle, NUFC TV, and Newcastle from our position, defending the goal to the right, attacking towards the left. Ball forwards by Everton. United have a player down, it's into the penalty area. Schär heads it away. Andre Mariner's the referee. He's been looking for a good 10 seconds at the Newcastle player on the floor, holding his face. It's Sven Botman, and he allowed play to continue. Mariner from the West Midlands, last seen refereeing Newcastle on Merseyside, the highly controversial defeat by Liverpool in August, and he's already upset the players by not stopping it for a head injury.
He's all right, Botman. They're going to be sad up, nothing wrong with him.
Calvert-Lewin caught him in the face as he went up. Here they are.
Nothing. Yeah, but he's all right. He's up. Doesn't need treatment. It's fine.
Botman back on his feet. The referee having belatedly stopped the match. We've had 90 seconds on the clock. Is dropping the ball at Kieran Trippier's feet in the corner, near to the away section, and it's lifted up to Wilson on halfway, backing into Tarkowski, backwards off Mykolenko for Everton. Keane's header, Joelinton with a nod down. Wilson's got it, back to goal, 35 yards out. Joelinton shifts it, moves it to Longstaff, round the corner to Trippier on the far side. Hoisted up to Willock, left side of the area, can't control. Goal kick.
Difficult one for him, wasn't it? Yeah, difficult one to take out of the sky, especially with your wrong foot, with your left foot. Just hit him on the shin.
The assistant referees tonight: Mark Perry on the near side, Nick Greenholf on the far side. Graham Scott is the 4th official, and on VAR duty, Chris Kavanagh, who was the referee that was getting a bit of grief from David Moyes last night at West Ham after they didn't get a penalty against Liverpool. Target to Joelinton, down the Newcastle left, Willock inside, but picked up by the huge figure of Doucouré. Gueye in the middle is not the biggest, but Onana left side and Doucouré are physical and a big frame either side of him. Powerful midfield players for Everton. Schär for Newcastle, forwards down the right. Wilson beaten to it by Tarkowski. Header inside to Gueye with bright orange boots away from Joelinton. He has the same colour footwear. And Keane chipped into the box. Got to be offside. Doucouré, miles offside. Yeah. Newcastle free kick. 4th minute, 0-0.
Yeah, both sides really just feeling each other out at the moment. No pattern to the game as of yet. Just need to take the sting out of it a little bit, take the sting out of the crowd.
If you hear any Everton voices coming through loud and clear, they are sitting right behind us, some home fans leaning on the railing at the back of our row. We're at the back of the broadcast area, so from previous visits we know the language can be quite fruity, so just be aware of that. They certainly feel every moment, don't they, the supporters behind us. Joelinton down the line on this near side, the left towards Willock, but out of play. Godfrey with the throw. Target. Been a long time since we saw him in from the start, September. Replacing Byrne tonight at left back. Played it inside, Everton knock it forwards, Botman away, then put back into the middle by a cross from Iwobi, too high for Calvert-Lewin. Popes come all the way out to the touchline, near the corner flag, and then let the ball run for a Newcastle throw.
Good ball played in, wasn't it? Calvert-Lewin just couldn't grow.
Iwobi started all 33 Premier League matches Everton have played this season. Former Arsenal man. This is Bruno, back to Trippier, pushed across towards Willock but intercepted by Everton, and then a shot from Doucouré in the box is blocked. Iwobi left side, digs out what I think was an effort chip towards the far corner.
Just tried to dink it, hasn't he? Tried to dink it, goal back kick. Post, tried to whip it, didn't get enough on it. Dangerous ball to play inside across your own 18-yard box, give it away.
Well, so far Newcastle haven't really had the ball on the floor or any real possession. We're in the 6th minute on BBC Radio Newcastle. There was a statistic this week, a set of statistics relating to time wasting or alleged time wasting, and Newcastle known to take a while over their throw-ins and goal kicks. Take possibly the longest in the Premier League, I think, for goal kicks, don't they? On average. And Pope urged to hurry up by the Everton fans. There's a foul by Joelinton from the ball forwards, next to Eddie Howe and Jason Tindall at the front of the technical area, side by side as always. Clipped forwards by Everton. Doucouré heads it against target. No foul on Bruno, despite Newcastle appeals at the edge of the box. Cleared by Botman now. Joelinton and Willock combine. It's a Newcastle throw. Matt Target dries the ball, throws it to Joelinton, gets it back. Closed down by 2 Everton players. They've started with a lot of desire and intent. And Iwobi's cross away by Trippier as far as Doucouré, 30 yards out. Now Gay, left-footed shot, straight at Pope.
I mean, on that occasion, Iwobi gets it wide right, he looks up, there's not a blue shirt in the box, nobody to hit. I want to see more of that tonight.
Trippier goes long, and Keane is struggling, and Wilson might be in. Wilson takes it down into the penalty area, and Godfrey slides it behind. Everton had corner 3 kick. Defenders.
That's a corner.
Tracking Wilson, and it's put behind for a corner. Michael Keane seemed to misjudge or lose the flight of the ball.
Yeah, it's poor defending by him. He gets wrong side of Wilson, who just rolls him then.
And he had a touch with his left to bring the ball down under control, but outnumbered in the end, and Everton managed to slide it behind in the 8th minute for Newcastle's first corner. First time they've been in the attacking third so far. Bruno on the edge of the box. They've crowded the 6-yard box as Trippier rolls it low to Almiron on the goal line. Back to Bruno, edge of the area, whipped in And it's come off. Wilson has it, or was it the defender next to him? It's another corner, this time on the far side for Newcastle from Bruno's ball in.
They left 3-on-1, Everton. The short corner. That's poor defending as well. Mind you, we got lucky with it because we made a mess of it, didn't we?
Almiron was kind of between post and edge of the box, side of the box. Received it on the line from Trippier, back to Bruno, and it was a cross rather than a shot towards Wilson, behind off a defender, and Trippier with now another corner, roll to Botman this time, back towards Bruno, but cleared by Everton. They almost caught them out again. Newcastle win a throw 30 yards out on the far side of the pitch eventually. 0-0 on BBC Radio Newcastle. Trippier to Longstaff, back again. It's tight on that far side, but he's got the ball away. Crosses blocked. Longstaff heads it to Trippier, who tried to flick it down the line, but played it off.
Played him off himself, didn't he?
Off his, well, one boot onto the other leg, and Everton have a throw for Mykolenko. Headed on, volleyed up by Cher, but square along the halfway line. Joelinton with a header backwards. Botman, header on. Joelinton backing into Godfrey. Iwobi's got it. 1-2 with Gay. Forwards to Calvert-Lewin, who's dropped off, takes it under control. And McNeil on the far side, back to Mykolenko. Newcastle pressing. Onana lets it run. Longstaff still with him. Played forward to Iwobi, can't hold it. Target to Joelinton. And it's taken a touch off Onana and run away from Longstaff, and McNeil on the far side turns and heads towards goal. Still on the move, Dwight McNeil, but stopped by Trippier in front of the 18-yard line. Longstaff up to Wilson, can't hold it, and Gay for Everton, 35 yards out in the centre. No goals yet. McNeil towards Mykolenko in the corner, cuts it back off Trippier, big deflection, and then given away by Bruno at the edge of the box. Longstaff with a challenge. Andre Mariner says he took the man, not the ball. Everton free kick, left of centre, just outside the Newcastle box.
I'd like to see it again.
I think he did get the man, yeah. Maybe. Referee was very close to it. And Longstaff, while he had a word with Andre Mariner, wasn't particularly demonstrative, and just spoke calmly to the referee. No real appeals from his teammates, which is often a
indication.
Yes. But this is
McNeil's over his left side.
A real opportunity for Everton.
Not set up for a left footer though, you wouldn't think.
Newcastle wall is just to the right from Nick Post's perspective of the penalty spot. They've got Idrissa Gay there as well, right-footed option. It would suit a right footer. It is Gay, and it's just over the top of Pope's crossbar, and the goalkeeper had it covered anyway.
Yeah, it wasn't close, was it? Got it up, didn't get it down. Just watched it sail over the top of his crossbar, Nick Pope.
Eddie Howe has called Joe Willock over, an arm on his shoulder, a word in his ear, and Willock back into the play for Newcastle. I think he might have switched with Joelinton. Looked like Willock had started higher up in the first 10 minutes, but now Joelinton's up there on the left. Bruno, good ball. Trippier in space. Plenty of it on the far side. Almiron down the line, and then a touch and back to Trippier. Bruno inside, gets it. Tackle from Everton, but Bruno's won it back and then sends the cross in, but Pickford claims with Wilson close by. Kicks out of his hands. Pickford. And Botman wins the header from Calvert-Lewin in front of Newcastle's box. Trippier to Almiron. Back again to Trippier, down the line, off an Everton player, but Tarkowski is there, and away down the touchline, out for a Newcastle throw. Close to halfway. Ball boy has retrieved it, and Cher pokes it forwards to Trippier. He's nicked a few more yards. Bruno tries to give him an angle, but they go back into their own half to Fabian Cher. 0-0 at Goodison Park. Joelinton making a run, looking for another diagonal ball from Cher. That's where it goes, but it sent him backwards. Joelinton inside, claiming he was fouled. Eddie Howe, arms outstretched, looks in the direction of the referee. Play on, away by Botman from an Everton ball forward. Wilson challenging, holding off a couple of defenders, under a lot of pressure. Wilson, target then to Willock. Everton players working hard off the ball. Newcastle still with possession. Botman along the edge of their penalty area to Cher. 14 minutes. Cher's ball into midfield, won back by Onana. Then Doucouré gives it away to Botman, and Cher to Trippier. Inside to Bruno, closed down by Gay. He gets around him and lifts it forwards for Almiron to take it over halfway and run, and inside to Longstaff and give him back to Almiron. Options to the left, Willock, Joelinton there as well. Target 2, it's Joelinton in the area for Newcastle. The cut back straight to an Everton player and put out by Onana for a throw on the near side, 20 yards from goal.
Yeah, good run by Target, wasn't it? Just overlapped Joelinton, probably should have rolled him in.
That was a good Newcastle break. Pace and numbers. But Everton cleared the immediate danger. Joelinton back into his own half to Sven Botman. Still to score his first goal. Botman, this is his 38th appearance. Cher, who's without one since Forest on the opening weekend. Almiron. Oh, back towards Bruno, almost cut out by Calvert-Lewin. Bruno just stuck out his leg and stopped it from going to the Everton forward. Target to Joelinton. Back to Target. And Botman behind Cher. Everton push up. It's given it to Nick Pope. First time ball to clear Newcastle and send it into the Everton half. And Wilson has won a knockdown, challenging with Tarkowski, but Almiron can't find him with the second ball. And McNeil, facing his own goal, plays it to Tarkowski. Applauded as it goes forwards to Idrissa Gueye. Senegalese international out to the Nigerian international, Iwobi. Target does the defending and plays it inside to Botman. 16 minutes on the clock. Bruno to Longstaff, closed down, moves it to Almiron, back to Longstaff, has to go to the right to Trippier. He'll get it again, Longstaff, side on, just behind halfway, slips as he plays it, and it's onto the chest of Iwobi. He was trying to pick out Joelinton on the near side. Iwobi takes it around Target at the edge of the area. Now the cross in, not a bad ball, but just a yard or so in front of Doucouré. McNeil's kept it in, sent over across. Pope gathers at the second attempt.
Yeah, McNeil should have, for the original cross, he should have been in back post. I mean, he's what, 10 yards outside the penalty area. They're just not getting numbers in the penalty area, Everton. Long may that continue.
Sean Dyche, their manager, in a dark suit, watching from the technical area. Jason Tindall speaking to Eddie Howe about something as both teams make challenges in central midfield for the ball. Everton come away with it. 0-0 on BBC Radio Newcastle. Keane up from the back. Well, he did well initially to get away, but then his pass was straight to Trippier, who exchanges passes with Almiron, and what a ball that is from Trippier to get Almiron in again down the right. But Tarkowski,
strong money,
was more powerful in the challenge, and then Tarkowski's pass over to the right side is behind Iwobi, and it's out for a Newcastle throw.
Can't pass water, can they, Everton?
Gave away possession cheaply. Target then almost lost it, but recovers with a challenge on Doucouré. Gets it back from Bruno onto Wilson, trying to flick it around the corner for Willock. Wilson held back, but still manages to keep possession. Back to Target, and now Botman. Joelinton laid off to Bruno, over to Almiron, right side. Trippier making an overlapping run, 35 yards out. to Joe Linton, back towards Almiron, intercepted by Everton, who come forwards through Doucouré, and now Calvert-Lewin, edge of the area, takes it inside Cher, who recovers with a good challenge and gets it back to Nick Pope.
Yeah, it was a good little turn by him. He just couldn't get the shot away, could he? He turned inside Botman.
Longstaff's rolled it into Trippier on the right wing, inside to Joe Linton, onto Bruno, edge of the area, through for Almiron to make the run, cuts it back, and almost an own goal. Diverted back into the hands of the keeper, Pickford, by Tarkowski. Wilson now getting into trouble for getting in Pickford's way, obstructing him.
He's grabbed his arm.
Yeah, it's not the first time he's tried to do that tonight. The England teammates
the first time he's tried to do it this season.
Tap hands and it's all okay. Wonder whether Almiron was offside, but his cutback, Ando, almost led to an Everton own goal.
Yeah, it was pulled back into a dangerous area, had to be played. Pickford did well.
The long ball forwards has gone backwards off Cher. Pope leaves his box, he's in the corner, prevents the corner kick, and downfield, Mikalenko's header inside. We've had almost 20 minutes. BBC Radio Newcastle. Newcastle unbeaten this season against teams currently in the bottom half of the Premier League, never mind the relegation zone where Everton find themselves. Only one win in 9 for Sean Dyche's team after winning 2 of the first 3 following Dyche's appointment as Frank Lampard's replacement. And Newcastle have a goal kick away to our right from an Everton ball forwards down this near side. Eddie Howe with tactical instructions for Joe Linton. Pope at Botman and Cher either side, and then
the one thing we know about this referee is he'll add time on.
Yeah. He then waved them forwards, took the goal kick. It's sent out of play by Everton. Target, middle of his own half to Bruno. Ball on the floor, back to Target. Botman behind him on the near side, has a touch, clipped forwards. Joe Linton has Keane at his back. The Everton defender wins the header. Now Gay to McNeil, has a go from distance and straight into the gloves of his former Burnley teammate Nick Pope.
It was a long way out, wasn't he? Straight at the keeper, just palmed it down, grabbed it at the second attempt.
Cher brings it a long way forwards. Almiron with space in the centre, and Willock free to the left. It's moved on towards Willock, but it's intercepted by Godfrey for Everton. And he's on the run, but he's outnumbered, Godfrey, and Botman makes a good, clean challenge to produce the ball.
It's amazing.
For Longstaff.
He's ran 30 yards with the ball, and nobody in a blue shirt has ran to get with him.
Was trying to counter, he was on the run. How many Everton players were nearby?
None.
There's only Calvert-Lewin, the centre forward. Going back to when Newcastle had it though, Ando, Almiron could have played it straight away to get Willock in at the angle, but
too many touches.
They've switched it from right to left to Mikalenko. Can't go forwards, Longstaff's in the way. Now on halfway with Onana. Godfrey taken down by Willock, but Everton still have the ball, so play on signalled by Mariner, the referee. Botman and Iwobi chasing. Sven Botman onto the roof of the stand.
Into Rosette.
And it's come back
Nothing
down.
wrong with that.
It's just come back down off the roof. And in the final third, midway through the first half, 0-0. Godfrey, the fullback, to take the throw. Only 2 Everton players in blue shirts in the box. Back post, Calvert-Lewin. And McNeil on the penalty spot. Newcastle have won the ball back. Joe Linton, Bruno into the penalty area to Botman. Now to Target in the corner as Everton press. Down the line to Willock, laid off to Joe Linton. He's touched it away, but Onana has it. McNeil then manages to sidestep both Almiron and Longstaff, takes it out to the far side, back to Mykolenko in front of halfway, and Everton possession. This is Michael Keane in his own half, forwards to Onana, under pressure. Back to Keane again, and they start from the back, Everton with Pickford. What would you make of the way the game's gone so far, Ando, and Newcastle's performance?
It's what we thought. Everton started quickly. I've started the game quickly, getting in our face, scrappy. It's no real tempo to the game. I think Sean Dyche should be the happier.
Michael Keane away from Matt Targett on the Everton right wing. The central defender, Calvert-Lewin, edge of the box, lays it off to Doucouré, gets around a couple of challenges. Mykolenko with a flick back to Calvert-Lewin, deflected shot from the edge of the area. Targett then plays it off Iwobi, and that's a goal kick.
Yeah, I mean, Everton, as I said beforehand, you don't want to give them any encouragement. They're getting in our face, they're making life difficult, as we thought they would do. We haven't been able to get hold of the ball, we haven't been able to pass the ball. It's been 100 mile an hour. Crowd are getting a little bit lively as well. But Everton, for all that they've done, they're not getting bodies in the box. You know, they're not getting blue shorts in there. They've had a couple of shots, but they both be from distance as well. You know, it's going to take something spectacular to beat Nick Pope from that sort of distance.
There's no action at the moment because Joelinton is receiving treatment. Bruno is tying his bootlaces again. It's Joelinton's left leg. Everton players are pitch side, some of them with Sean Dyche, who applauded their last piece of play and the move that ended up with a Newcastle goal kick. Sean Longstaff having a long chat with Sven Botman, and Callum Wilson called over by Eddie Howe for a word. This is Goodison Park, probably the most uncomfortable broadcast area in the Premier League, with a lack of leg room, and the TV screen, there's only one for about 20 of us here.
And one of them's not working.
Wasn't working very well. It was flickering, and now it's gone off. So we can't review anything again. Hopefully there'll be no VAR action. And we've got a big pillar in the way, obstructing our view. But apart from that,
it's all right.
Some of the away fans had price reduction on their tickets because of obstructed view in the away section. A couple of big beams holding the stand, and the two tiers up. Foul on Bruno by Doucouré, and the whistle has gone for a Newcastle free kick. That might be the first one they've had tonight. 26th minute, they've taken it quickly, and the referee says do it again.
He was talking to the player, wasn't he? It was Gay who fouled Bruno.
Botman to Longstaff. Cher's got Trippier down the line. It's further forwards than that, on towards Almiron. Tarkowski won it, then almost lost it to the Paraguayan, but pushes it forwards down the wing. And McNeil with Longstaff getting in between man and ball. Could have been a foul on Longstaff, nothing given by Andre Mariner. Newcastle still with it on the far side, and they have a throw. Trippier short to Longstaff. Everton players weren't looking. Then down the line again to Sean Longstaff. Under pressure from two in blue. Back to Trippier. Wilson's got in front of Tarkowski, taken it down and helped it forwards to Almiron. And he's moving it over to this near Newcastle side. Target over halfway. Down the wing for Joelinton. Four in the attack. Joelinton chops inside into the area. Effort from Joelinton, saved by
yes!
And the rebound stabbed in. And Callum Wilson is there to make it 1-0, and Wilson has scored again, in from the start tonight in the 28th minute. The rebound from close range into the Everton net, and Newcastle United lead by a goal to nil.
Well, you'd say it's come against the run of play. All the play's been in Everton's half. First real bit of quality that we put together, switch of play. Godfrey doesn't get close enough to Joelinton, and he just cuts inside. Decent save by Pickford, but he pats it back into an area. and it's just toe poked into the back of the net by Wilson.
Callum Wilson has moved clear at the top of Newcastle's goal-scoring chart for the season with his 12th of the campaign, moving ahead of Almiron, who's been there for most of the season, been there since October. And his good run of form, rich vein of form, Callum Wilson continues. Joe Willock was in the mix as the ball came back off Pickford, saving from Joelinton. It was a good turn inside. Had a big heavy touch though. I thought an Everton player was going to clear it, but he managed to get onto his touch, Joelinton, and follow it up with an effort, and it was from the save that Wilson made it 1-0. Listen to BBC Radio Newcastle. Joelinton taken down by Iwobi. Sean Longstaff and Bruno run to the referee. I think they want to see a yellow card for the challenge, but I don't think there'll be any further punishment. And arguments between coaching staff now. Jason Tindall of Newcastle and Ian Wone of Everton. There's a name to give you nightmares. Ian Wone, from his Nottingham Forest days in the 90s. Fourth official Graham Scott has now got to talk to Newcastle's Jason Tindall as Kieran Trippier from halfway on the near side, 1-0 up. Fires forward a free kick. Everton header goes up rather than away. Joelinton back to target on the right, and Almiron to share down the line for Longstaff, trying to get into the penalty area. This could be a corner, or Longstaff's kept it in with a cross, and Wilson's header
couldn't get over it, could he?
Gone looping up and into the hands of Pickford.
Just couldn't grow, just looped it up into the air.
So 1-0, and Wilson, 6 of his last 7 appearances before tonight had been from the bench. But it's now 5 goals in 6 appearances for Callum Wilson. Who has given them the lead, and you can hear the difference in the atmosphere around Goodison Park. Everton fans probably used to this feeling. Been beaten at home 8 times. Long way to go though, but a feeling of deflation and frustration as they give the ball away. Longstaff back to Trippier for Newcastle, who've regained possession in their half of the field. Share forwards to Willock, who's got space and he can let the ball bounce and run. And Onana is with him. Willock takes it inside. Mikalenko's got back there. They've had to double up, and then it's played clear to Doucouré on the left side of midfield. McNeil forward, Share with a header, taken down under control by Doucouré. Bruno gets in the way. That's fantastic from Bruno, who was then pulled back, and the free kick goes Newcastle's way, despite the Everton cries of handball from the fans behind us.
Yeah, Everton have got no rhythm about them, have they? Everything's off the cuff with them. Calvert-Lewin up there on his own, but they just don't get players in and around them or up in support of them.
That's Trippier, swings it down the right wing. Almiron took the touch. It was a heavy touch and carries it behind. Oh, it's gone for a corner. So it must have taken
Mikalenko
a nick off Mikalenko, or maybe he got his boot or leg to the ball before Almiron did. But corner kick for Newcastle on the far right-hand side. They've already put the ball in the net once tonight, leading 1-0, 33 minutes. Well, if they can get another one, it could be significant. Willock hands on hips on the D, and Matt Targett will deliver a left-footed ball in from that far side. Share and Joelinton on the penalty spot. 4 in the 6-yard box. Targett round the back, headed away by Everton, and that'll be another corner on this near side.
Yeah, good delivery, wasn't it? Nobody coming in back post. had to deal with it, Everton. Mikalenko got a header on it to put it out on this near side for another corner. Trippier comes across this time.
Almiron is now edge of the area with Willock, either side of the D. They've still put 4 players in the 6-yard box, Newcastle. Trippier, that's to the back of the 6-yard box, flicked away by Everton. Pickford didn't get there. It was a defender that moved the ball away from goal, and Cher wins a throw-in on the right wing. He's going to leave it for a colleague, could be Almiron. He then tosses it on to Trippier. He's come back over to the right to take it. 1-0 Newcastle on BBC Radio Newcastle. Trippier takes it. Back to Bruno on the right. Gets a shove from an Everton player, and it's from halfway back to Pope in the D at the Newcastle end. Target dragging it back. Iwobi pressurising him. Target on the floor, wanting a free kick. Referee says no. McNeil now lines up a shot from outside the box. Pope with a comfortable save.
It's a poor effort. It's a real poor effort.
Should they have had a free kick there?
No. Flying all over the ball, isn't he? Target.
Botman to Target. It's a high ball forwards down the left. Joelinton with Keane behind him, backing in Joelinton. Then Wilson got involved. Everton come away with the ball. Onana to Doucouré, and Iwobi playing it off the shins of Target. Everton throw 15 yards into Newcastle's half. Thrown inside to Keane. Hoisted forwards. Calvert-Lewin. Well, they want a foul for a challenge on Botman at the edge of the area. Nothing given. And then Bruno's pass is intercepted by Doucouré. 30 yards from goal. Iwobi on the right wing. Floated over to the far post. Good header by Trippier. Almiron takes it down and on to Wilson, who's moved out wide, where Onana makes the sliding challenge, and Gay back to Mikalenko in his own half, the Ukrainian. Tarkovsky forwards into the centre circle to Doucouré.
Dear oh dear.
And out to the right wing to Godfrey. Another throw. Did Bobman have a shout for a free kick?
I thought he just went down.
Referee now.
Oh, I thought he just went down. He went down looking for it.
Andre Mariner
Got to be stronger in those situations.
Explaining this decision to Sean Longstaff. Target to Joelinton, flicked on. Spurs 0, Manchester United 1 in the 8:15 kickoff. And Newcastle do get a free kick now, a rare one. There's a player down, and it's Sean Longstaff on halfway. James Kartovsky's come over to complain and protest. Joelinton by the side of the pitch, having a drink from a water bottle. Sean Longstaff pulled to his feet by Matt Target. It's on the near side, on halfway. They're leading 1-0 through Callum Wilson's tap in from a rebound after Joelinton's shot was pushed out by Pickford. The other match tonight, by the way, Southampton against Bournemouth, is 0-0. That one kicked off at the same time as this, 7:45. Trippier on the right wing, gets good shape on the pass, bending it forwards to Wilson, back to Almiron, now for Willock. Right side, Wilson in the middle, Joelinton in the box, good ball in by Willock, and Iwobi's headed it over his own bar, right in front of the keeper, Pickford. Newcastle corner.
Oh, total lack of communication between Pickford and Iwobi. Joelinton was waiting back post as well.
I thought he was on for what would be an 8th goal of the season, Joelinton, but Iwobi came and headed it over and behind. Don't know whether Pickford would have got there. It is a Newcastle corner in the 39th minute. Trippier, right-footed outswinger to the near post area. Everton head clear, and that'll be a throw for United on the far side of the pitch. They leave the ball that they were using, and Trippier picks up a spare one from a disc next to the touchline, throws it into Longstaff, back to Trippier. Everton player slips in front of him, and his pass is on the floor into his own half, down the line to Cher. Bruno in Newcastle territory, just by halfway, back to Botman. Target to Joelinton now on this left wing. Inside to Bruno, forced wide by Everton. Tackle from Iwobi, but it comes to Botman. Sweeping pass over to Trippier, who has a touch. Longstaff's made the run into space. Trippier's pass has taken a big deflection off an Everton player. Longstaff with a back heel to Almiron at the corner of the area. High ball floated across. Willock can't take it down, and that's a goal kick.
Haven't seen a great deal of Joe Willock tonight, have we? Hasn't really got involved in the game,
but quiet so far this evening.
Yeah, hasn't had too many touches of the ball.
And they've changed it again, I think, with Willock in the front line and Joelinton in midfield. But it's something that they do often within games. Tactically fluid, Newcastle. 1-0 up at Goodison Park through Callum Wilson, a 12th goal of the season. Equals his best tally in a black and white shirt from a couple of years ago. He's on course to beat it. Bruno pulled back by Onana, who's going to get a yellow card. As clear as day, the pull by Onana. Bruno was on the ball, trying to get away, near to the halfway line, pulled his shirt back, and they've taken it quickly.
And it's coming back.
Referee says, do it again. He yellow carded Amadou Onana, and was busy making a note of that caution when Bruno took a quick free kick. A couple he's taken quickly, knowing that it will be pulled back. So now the referee's happy, and they can start the game again. Newcastle, target to Willock, backing into Godfrey, and playing it the way he's facing to Bruno. Almiron onto Longstaff, back to Almiron, and looking for a first-time return to Longstaff. Everton win it, far side of the pitch. Doucouré making a run forwards from midfield. O'Neill takes it away from Trippier, and the cutback is cleared by Target. He's found Longstaff with the ball. Almiron with a touch, and then a pass to Trippier. Chops outside, goes away from O'Neill, McNeil rather, and got caught, Kieran Trippier, by Mikalenko, who made the challenge, sliding in. He stayed down.
The two of them just went for it, didn't it? It was one of them 50-50s.
Trippier looks like his left, the outside of his left knee. Newcastle physio has been called onto the pitch by the referee. We've got 3.5 minutes plus additional time to the break. BBC Radio Newcastle, and hopefully Trippier will be all right. Mikalenko it was with the challenge. Right in front of Newcastle and their travelling fans. Kieran Trippier lying flat on his back, receiving treatment. 1-0 the score through Callum Wilson's goal. Just looking quite a bit of pain here, Trippier. We've managed to locate another screen on the far side of the media area. Javier Manquillo is jogging up and down the touchline. Trippier is now sitting up. This is BBC Radio Newcastle. If you want to have a message read out during the half-time break, best thing to do is to WhatsApp us. So to do that, put BBC at the start of your message, and the number's 08000 321 333. BBC at the start on WhatsApp, and 08000 321 333. Trippier with quite a pronounced limp dragging his leg really off the pitch. They are down to 10 temporarily, Newcastle, and physio is still with Kieran Trippier, who took quite a whack there, it seems. Ball's back in play. Joe Linton had it in midfield, but the referee spotted an infringement, and it's an Everton free kick. Doesn't look too clever here, Kieran Trippier. Trying to shake it off. Walking up and down the touchline, but they're going to defend this Everton free kick 10 yards into the Newcastle half with 10 men. Into the penalty box, Longstaff's header comes out now to Iwobi, 35 yards from goal. The forward ball takes a nick off Willock, a backpedaling Share heads it away, could run for a corner. It does. Trippier is sent back on. Still limping.
Yeah, a bit of luck if you're able to run it off.
We'll get him to half-time, you would think, but there'll be a good few minutes added for the treatment that he received. Everton corner on their left side, right-footed, low towards the near post, and diverted just past that near post by Michael Keane up from the back, right-footed, uncontested, met the ball, but off target.
Yeah, big chance, wasn't it? He's gone near post, nobody's gone with him. It was poor defending.
I make that a good opportunity for Everton.
Yeah, big chance. Thankfully it was the centre-half who got it.
Well, he did score quite a stunning long-range goal against Spurs not so long ago for Everton, but from close range couldn't trouble Nick Pope. Still 1-0 Newcastle. Target with a header towards goalscorer Wilson. Everton want handball. They've won it back. Then Target challenges Iwobi. It's cleared now by Everton. 3 additional minutes.
They're not happy with that, are they?
Minimum period. And maybe Andre Mariner's watch hasn't stopped like it did at Anfield all those months ago. Now Target, forward ball for Wilson to chase, but Tarkowski back towards Pickford, and a big kick from the Everton and England goalkeeper. His distribution is noted as being excellent, and he got good distance on that, but Newcastle back to the goalkeeper. Target forwards into space on the left, but it's nowhere near anybody in Newcastle white and green. And Pickford with a big swinging kick forward. Share and Calvert-Lewin compete for the ball. They both miss it. Nick Pope lets it run, walks it further back into the penalty box, and then picks it up. Overarm throw to Target, closed down by Iwobi, out wide to Willock. He's been able to find Botman and Almiron in loads of space, far side, down on his chest, back to Trippier. Oh, it's a short ball. Trippier had to get there before McNeil did, and then the Everton pass forwards is won back by Newcastle. They intercept it. A couple of times tonight, Almiron on the ball has surrendered possession, and Everton trying to build an attack down the right. Iwobi's cross, they clear it, Newcastle. Iwobi's got it again, the former Arsenal player, to Gay, chipped into the middle. Share, big header clear. Keane lets it run, and from inside the Newcastle half back to Pickford. Driven ball forwards. Target's got to watch. Good header back to Pope with Iwobi on his shoulder.
Yeah, good vision. Knew where Iwobi was.
Bruno back to Botman. Another short ball, and Botman has to rush to clear it. First half added on time. 1-0 up away from home through Callum Wilson's goal. McNeil in between the Newcastle midfield and defence, plays in Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who chips it over Nick Pope, but the offside flag goes up from the assistant on the near side. VAR will check it. Everton thought they had an equaliser, but offside is the call.
Wait and see.
Oh, I think he's onside. Could be onside. It depends, maybe, the angle of the line that they'll draw. VAR going to look closely at this. Calvert-Lewin was played through. It looked tight, but the flag went up quickly as soon as the ball hit the net. And this could be an equaliser in first half, added on time for Everton. It's Sven Botman's right leg or right boot that could be playing Calvert-Lewin on. Chris Kavanagh is the video assistant referee, taking his time over the replays, trying to find the right point to draw the line. This is like Isak at Anfield all over again, isn't it? Onside or offside, it's very close. Newcastle could be about to have their lead given to them by Callum Wilson earlier in the half, wiped out by a possible Everton equaliser. VAR really having a good look at this. What will Chris Kavanagh say?
Oh dear, how long does it take?
He says offside. It's offside. Oh, offside is the decision. I was sure that was going to be given. That is so close. And they've got away with one there, Newcastle, because there cannot be much in that.
He's offside.
He's offside. But, and the assistant referee put the flag up, so it's not as if it was given and then disallowed. They are just ratifying the original decision, confirming the original decision. There's the half-time whistle. Just as Joe Linton smacks the ball against Sean Longstaff in the face, Andre Mariner ends the first 45 minutes plus the additional time that almost John Anderson saw Everton draw level, but Newcastle lead 1-0. Yeah,
I mean, it hasn't been a classic. It's been scrappy. It's been the way that Everton would have liked it. We haven't been able to get into a rhythm. Haven't had too many chances. The only real bit of quality football that we played, we scored from. Good switch of play. Joe Linton, far too much room. Similar to the goal against Spurs at the weekend. He just broke into a hole. Nobody came and closed him down. Got the shot away. Pickford pushed it back into the middle of the goal. Wilson pokes it into the net. But it's been scrappy. We've battled well. Everton had a lot of the ball, but they don't get people in the penalty area. Crossing's been poor. Pope's had a couple of saves to make, but they've been from long distance. And as you say, the goal at the end, good finish by Calvert-Lewin, but he was offside.
Yeah, he dinked it over Nick Pope, but VAR confirmed that he was offside. But looking at it a couple of times, it seemed really tight. So Newcastle, who still have the best defence in the Premier League, with 25 goals against, at least 3 fewer than any other team. But only 1 clean sheet in the last 11, are still on for another clean sheet for Nick Pope, who has kept 13 along with his teammates this season. The club record in the Premier League is 15 by Tim Krul in the season they finished 5th, 2011-12. But not many chances for Newcastle at the other end. I can only really think of the goal, the shot, and then the rebound.
Pass back, the save that Pickford's made from. That was probably as close as we came as well. Yeah, chances have been few and far between in the game. As I said, Nick Pope's had a couple of saves to make, but they've been from distance, comfortable enough for him. We haven't really been threatened, you know. Everton have huffed and puffed and, you know, stuck balls in the box, but the quality of the ball into the box has been poor. They haven't got enough blue shorts in there. Yeah, and you would think it'll be more of the same in the second half.
Newcastle could move 8 points clear of Aston Villa, the team directly below the Champions League places, if they win tonight and if Manchester United beat Spurs, or at least don't lose to Spurs, and it's going that way so far in both games. Man United 1-0 up in North London, and Newcastle, through Callum Wilson's 12th goal of the season, lead against Everton at Goodison Park at half-time by 1-0.
It's pitch black, it's approaching 1 in the morning, and I'm in the middle of nowhere. I remember vividly these car headlights came down this sort of path, and then like it went from 0 to 100 right then, because I was thinking, all right, they're actually here, and I'm going to be face to face with Ralmo's friends and family.
It developed from something which you'd think the police were definitely going to get this guy, to he's gone on the run, they can't find him.
I got a call from my editor, get to Rossbury now. They think Raoul Moat is there.
We bought 2 flak jackets to protect journalists when they were going up there, which was interesting because where'd you get a flak jacket from?
My godmother, who lives in America, was like, Rossbury is on the front page of the New York Times. It was just insane.
The untold story of the UK's biggest manhunt in 44 years, told by the reporters who were on the ground. Streaming now on BBC Sounds.
Dominic James back in the BBC Radio Newcastle studio. Half-time at Goodison Park. Everton 0, Newcastle United 1. Callum Wilson with the goal for the Magpies. Everton nearly getting a goal at the end of the first half there, but Dominic Calvert-Lewin's goal was deemed to be offside. Thanks to Matthew Racebeck and to John Lanson. We'll head back to Goodison Park shortly. Get in touch with us this evening though. Let us know your thoughts on the match so far. I'll put as many messages as I can to Ando after the match. We'll be taking the programme up till 10 o'clock, so do get in touch. I'll read as many as I possibly can. The details to do so is send us a text 81333, start your message with the letters BBC. We're on WhatsApp as well. The number you need for that is 8000 321 333, 8000 321 333. Start your messages again with the letters BBC to make sure I get them. A couple of you sent in messages already as well, so thank you for them. Do remember to put your names on this one. This one is anonymous. He says, great commentary. Willock has been distant in the game so far, but Bruno is the difference for Newcastle and such an important player when we are in possession. This one is from Alan and Gated. How many points do Newcastle need to secure Champions League places? Not too sure, but I think my quick maths mean that Newcastle need 4 more wins and a point, I think, to secure Champions League football after they've got 6 games left after tonight as well. But do keep the messages coming. 08000 321 333 on WhatsApp, starting your messages with the letters BBC. There's 2 other games in the Premier League tonight. Also kicking off at a quarter today was Southampton versus Bournemouth. That one is goalless at the break. The game kicking off at 8:15 was Manchester United against Spurs, away at Spurs for Man United. They are 1-0 up. Jadon Sancho scored after just 1 minute. One game in the Championship tonight as well. Cardiff are beating Rotherham United away from home. 1-0 up there. Half an hour played in that match there, so we'll keep you up to date on that one as well here on BBC Radio Newcastle. Sticking with football then, and this afternoon, South Shields confirmed that Julio Arca will be their new manager. Kevin Phillips left the club on Saturday by mutual consent after he guided them to the Northern Premier League title. We'll have more on that on Total Sport next week. Meanwhile, yesterday, North Shields Football Club were told by the FA that they will be relegated from the Northern Premier League East Division after having not met ground improvement requirements. The club say they have provided extensive evidence to the Football Association with plans in place and proof of funds too. Shields will likely be playing their football in Division 1 of the Northern League next season, and I've been talking to their manager, Mark Nash.
Obviously, the FA introduced the forced promotion after the COVID spell, which obviously clubs took a hit for. So we had 1 year, but then obviously we're not quite sure whether we're going to go up or not. We knew we were good enough to be challenging, and really it kind of went down between us and Concert. We were so far behind games-wise that because of the VARs run that we probably maybe had a couple of months to react to the real possibility of getting promoted. Then once it was kind of confirmed, we're given 10 months to find, £30,000 to apply for the grant to enable it to get the ground done, which in respect to ours was kind of turnstiles, more covered seating, more covered standing areas and infill around the pitch. And, it was very, very expensive operation, which we would have needed a grant for. So you kind of had 10 months to react to it all, I guess. So maybe half promised some help from certain people at certain times, which really we were relying on. It didn't come to fruition. So we were really stuck right up until the last minute where a couple of investors came forward, which was inside the deadline, and we informed the FA that we had the funds to go proceed and get the grant. But, that was kind of the basis of our appeal, and it's just been rejected out of hand, really. No compassion, no nothing, really. We ain't got a major backer. We kind of live hand to mouth on, whatever comes through the door crowds-wise with a couple of decent sponsors at the start of the season can help you, but nothing in a way of where that was straightforward for us. Disappointingly, I think we couldn't really act till promotion was confirmed, and then I think it was you had to do it by 31st of March, so we didn't really get a full season to do it. It was 10 months, and if you look at the reaction of our social media accounts, and I'm talking about from supporters and even chairmen of other clubs we faced this year, they're really disappointed. They thought we were a massive asset to the league because we took fans away with us. When clubs visited us, they enjoyed it. They went away, they've had a good day up north. I think we proved we were competitive on the pitch, and I don't think it's in anybody's interests to put us back, really, but that's what's happened. So it is a really tricky one to take. I mean, I've looked at some other clubs who've been relegated in similar circumstances to ours, and they've suffered double relegations because it decimates the place. The players go, management go. It's not attractive because, as it stands, they cannot go back up. I think, what needs to happen is North Shields still hopefully can get the ground done as was planned ASAP, which would allow them to go straight back up. I think that would be an ideal scenario. We've got a group of players who could, maybe stick together and buy into that. That's my kind of hope, because after 5.5 years, I don't want to see, a free fall when you've put loads of work in. So, that's the hope. But, maybe there's meetings going on in the future to see, what the club's response is and what the plan is going forward.
That is the North Shields manager, Mark Nash, speaking to me a little bit earlier on that after yesterday, North Shields confirmed that they have been relegated from the Northern Premier League East Division after having not met ground improvement requirements. Moving on then into some cricket, and Durham closed day one against Derbyshire in their county championship match today at Chesley Street against Derbyshire. They were 410 for 8 at the close of play. Ollie Robinson top scored with 114, while there were half centuries for Paul Coughlin, who made 42, and Brighton Cars, who was 77 not out. Our cricket commentator Martin Emerson has been talking to the century maker.
Well, Ollie, you must have enjoyed that today. Came out when Durham had lost a few quick wickets and managed to steer them into calmer waters again.
Yeah, no, I think we had this chat earlier, and the belief in the group is that someone will step up and someone will dig us out of a problem, and yeah, luckily today was my day, and batted quite nicely, which is quite nice.
Your first century for Durham as well. I think you're 5th in first class cricket. Is that right?
Yeah. No, it was a good day. It kind of hit the middle of the bat from ball one, and it's just one of those days. Got a couple of new good bats, so pretty happy with that.
And important for Graham Clark to do his bit at the other end. He didn't get a massive score, but his 39 runs just laid a foundation for you to do what you needed to do at your end.
No, exactly that, and we talk about partnerships a lot, and it becomes a lot easier batting with someone if you're not losing wickets. It becomes a lot easier just to build a partnership, and you can absorb the pressure and then push back after. So that's what we've done quite well today.
I think it was the finger of doom again. Sadly, I just hit go on a report for the BBC website saying it had been a faultless innings when you were out LBW. The ball that got you seemed to stay quite low, pitched on a length and never really got up.
Yeah, I did keep it a little bit low, but I stupidly shuffled across the stumps and missed it. I mean, if you miss them and they're straight, you're probably going to be out most of the time. So, but it's one of them.
410 on the board, I think, for 8, and there's still 12 overs or something like that, probably more, to get the final batting point. So that's got to be the next focus. But for the 4th week in a row, whether you've been put in or you've decided to bat yourselves, you've been the top scorers in the country on day one.
Yeah, I know, and I think that's a real testament to our batting group and the way that we're trying to play cricket, and it's working for us, and we're finding a nice balance in between being fearless and being reckless, and yeah, everything what we're doing at the moment seems to be going well, so hopefully long may that continue.
And fingers crossed there's going to be overnight rain tonight, but prompt start tomorrow, get those runs on the board, and then have Derbyshire batting early in the morning.
Well, I think that'll be the plan. Try and get in, get out, and see what happens.
Martin Emerson speaking to Ollie Robinson there, who made a century today. Day 2 commentary will begin from 11 o'clock tomorrow morning with Martin Emerson via the BBC Sport website and app. A couple of other things, and today in rugby, in the Newcastle Falcons have signed commentary fullback Lewis Brown on a 2-year deal. In snooker, it's the second semi-final at the World
Mm.
Championships at the Crucible in Sheffield. Mark Allen. Mark Allen speaking to Ollie Robinson there, who made a century today. Day 2 commentary will begin from 11 o'clock tomorrow morning with Martin Emerson via the BBC Sport website and app. A couple of other things, and today in rugby, in the Newcastle Falcons have signed commentary fullback Lewis Brown on a 2-year deal. In snooker, it's the second semi-final at the World Championships at the Crucible in Sheffield. Mark Allen Mark Selby against Mark Allen, and they are one frame each there. Selby leading in the third frame. That one there as well. Darts night in Bedlington's Chris Dobie has lost 6-1 against Will Michael Smith in the Premier League darts tonight. And in tennis, Britain's Kyle Edmund is out of the Madrid Masters after a straight sets defeat to Dominic Thiem as well. Time to head back to Goodison Park then. Remember, keep your messages coming in on WhatsApp 08000 321 333. We've had one from remember to put your name on the messages as well. We've had one from Utah in the USA. He says, congrats on Wilson's goal. How are the lads? Time to head back to Goodison Park then for second half commentary of Everton versus Newcastle United in the company of Matthew Racebeck and John Anderson.
Half-time highlights.
Total Sport.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Back to Trippier. Wilson's got in front of Tarkowski, taken it down and helped it forwards to Almiron. And he's moving it over to this near Newcastle side. Target over halfway. Down the wing for Joelinton. 4 in the attack. Joelinton chops inside into the area. The effort from Joelinton, saved by Pickford. And the rebound stabbed in. And Callum Wilson is there to make it 1-0. And Wilson has scored again, in from the start tonight. In the 28th minute, the rebound from close range into the Everton net, and Newcastle United lead by a 1-0.
Matthew Racebeck and black and white legend John Anderson.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Newcastle 1-0 up at Goodison Park after the first 45 minutes. Everton are out, ready for the second half. Newcastle are making their way up the tunnel, back onto the field of play. Doesn't look like there are any changes from Sean Dyche, so it's Jordan Pickford in goal, with Ben Godfrey at right back, Michael Keane, James Tarkowski are the two centre-halves, and Vitaly Mykolenko at left back. Then a midfield consisting of Idrissa Gueye, Amadou Onana, who was yellow carded in the first half, and Abdoulaye Doucouré, with Alex Iwobi, Dwight McNeil and Dominic Calvert-Lewin. The goal from Calvert-Lewin disallowed for offside in first half, added on time as the Everton side. And Newcastle, Nick Pope, Kieran Trippier, Fabian Schär, Sven Botman, Matt Targett, Bruno Guimaraes, Sean Longstaff and Joe Willock, Miguel Almiron, Joelinton, goal scorer Callum Wilson. Second half has just started. BBC Radio Newcastle, NUFC TV, and Newcastle kicking towards the goal to our right. The away fans will have a better view of that one. And Everton on the ball. They got the second 45 started. Playing it forwards, wanting a free kick on the edge of the area, not given by referee Andre Mariner. Ball switched over from right to left for Everton towards Mykolenko. Trippier and Schär combined to win it. Almiron into Longstaff. Lovely turn away and around Onana. Onto Bruno. Joelinton's got space. 30 yards out. Willock played in the penalty area. Joe Willock's got it. Good save by Pickford. And behind for a corner kick. Jordan Pickford got down and Everton players threw themselves at the ball. Might have taken a touch off a defender on the way behind as Willock cut inside and came close to making it 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, Godfrey again gets done in that right back area. He's cut inside.
It was off the defender, not the goalkeeper. Defender right in front of Pickford, diverted it behind.
Thought it was a save. It looked from up here as if Pickford had made the save, but either way, it's a corner kick.
Target with the corner, flicked away by Everton. Almiron hitting it straight against Doucouré, who was on top of him almost. Ball didn't travel very far. Willock recycles it, and Target again. Bruno wide left to Willock, 20 yards out. High ball sent over to Schär at the back of the box. Everton header. They're trying to prevent another corner, and they have with a clearance from the line. Trippier lets the ball bounce, volleys it forwards. Schär could be in on the right. Flag stays down. Schär with a cross which is blocked by Tarkowski. He's given it to Almiron, drags it back, combines with Bruno, but Everton clear, and Onana now passes it to McNeil, who's ball forwards off the outside of the left boot and out of play. Everton 0, Newcastle 1. 48th minute, the two benches, Dubravka, Lascelles, Gordon, Ritchie, Isak, Manquillo, Murphy, Anderson, Byrne for Newcastle, who've taken the throw. Bruno, right side of central midfield forwards, but Pickford has it in the box. And Everton, Begovic the keeper, Patterson, Gray, Mina, Mope, Davies, Cody, Garner and Sims. Alex Iwobi receiving it from Godfrey on the right, edge of the penalty area. Ball into the 6-yard box, bounces once and goes behind. Calvert-Lewin couldn't get there.
Poor ball.
Goal kick.
Poor ball. It's just it's a ball that's not flying by Iwobi. It's cut inside. He doesn't see anything else on it. He just lifts it into an area.
Now the Everton fans getting frustrated as Nick Pope puts the ball down for the goal kick, sends Botman and Cher upfield, and it's back in play. Bournemouth 1-0 up at bottom of the table, Southampton. Joelinton, he's got room between the Everton line of defenders in midfield on the left, slips it forwards for Willock to chase, but it's going to beat him, and that's a goal kick.
Yeah, unlucky. Good turn away.
Good position that he picked up.
Just a reverse ball, just got too much on it.
Seven away wins for Newcastle so far, not including the current status of this one. Their record in the Premier League era is 9, which they managed in 93-94 when there were some extra matches, more teams in the division, and in 2001-2 when they finished 4th, and they got 8 in 2011-12. This could be their 8th. 1-0 up, but Everton on the attack. Iwobi, edge of the area. What a challenge from Botman. But they can't get it clear. And Iwobi involved now on the left, and Mikolenko's cross hits Almiron. Trippier can't prevent the corner. Iwobi will take it, 2 arms in the air, comes forwards to the ball, it's chipped to the back of the box, it's behind everybody, and Joelinton wants to let that run for a throw, and it goes out for a throw, and that, from an Everton point of view, unless they get the ball back and turn it over on Newcastle, is a complete waste.
I mean, you send your centre backs up for corner kicks and you deliver a ball like that, it's not giving anybody a chance to get anything on it.
Thrown down the line by Newcastle. Wilson felt he was pulled to the floor. It's a throw for United and nothing more, as Wilson appeals to the referee. Jacob Murphy is sent along the touchline to warm up. BBC Radio Newcastle. 6th minute of the second half, leading 1-0. Longstaff and Bruno under pressure, far side of the pitch. Target back to Pope, Cher's given him an angle. And corner of the area, Fabian Cher takes control. Almiron short, Trippier just down the line. He's gone for the big switch. It's over the head of Godfrey, and Joelinton's into the penalty area. Joelinton cuts it back, but it's behind Bruno. Cleared only as far as target. Now Longstaff, good ball to Almiron on the right, and then down the line for Trippier, whose cross is flicked away by an Everton head, and Iwobi takes it on away from target, and Iwobi gets past Matt Target, who pulls him back, but Iwobi gets the better of the Newcastle fullback and slides in. Calvert-Lewin, Pope makes a diving save, and Almiron in the box puts it out for a throw next to the corner flag, and Target's gone down hurt after that race with Iwobi for the ball. Andre Mariner let it go.
He's going to get a yellow card as well.
Is he going to retrospectively boot Target for the pull back on Iwobi, who got away?
Good turn of pace, wasn't it?
but from a good Newcastle attack, and Joelinton in facing goal, left side of the penalty box. Everton forced Pope into a save at the other end.
Yeah, good break, and Wobie did well. Showed a clean pair of heels to Target, who had a little tug on him, and to be fair, the Wobies just knocked him over and got clear. It's a good save by Pope.
Well, Iwobi and Calvert-Lewin, if they combine, could be a problem for Newcastle, who have dealt with the immediate danger from the Everton throw, but won back by Godfrey, and then over the top from Keane, the centre half. I don't know whether that was a cross or a shot, but he has leathered the ball, gave it everything, and too high over the crossbar from the right side of the area.
Awful. Another good area, got themselves into it.
It's now Tottenham 0, Manchester United 2. Marcus Rashford with the second. Jadon Sancho got the first, by the way. I'm not sure who scored Bournemouth's goal at Southampton. 1-0 there. 1-0 to Newcastle here. Keane back to Pickford in the D. Lets it come and then kicks through the ball, driving it forward. Trippier sees it out for a throw. The Everton supporters, who are getting quite upset and noisy behind us at half-time, could not have been more polite and friendly, offering us sweets and wanting to chat about VAR and being very reasonable and fair to Newcastle. And they're absolutely full of it when the game is on, as Wilson takes down the ball from the throw, but Everton win it back. Target on his chest to Bruno, left side of central midfield. Willock onto Joelinton, corner of the penalty area, back to Bruno. First time pass to Willock. Out wide again to Joelinton. Now a ball towards Willock on the goal line. Good cut back. Not an important header clear by Everton. Then Bruno with a header to the corner, kept in by Joelinton. Held up by Iwobi. Challenge comes in. Everton, do they get a free kick or is it a throw?
Free kick. Just rugby tackled them, didn't he?
It was Marcus Tavernier with the Bournemouth goal at Southampton. So we're all up to date now in the other matches. And Manchester United, as it stands, level on points with Newcastle with a game in hand, but the goal difference for Eddie Howe and his players is better by 20, so that will keep Newcastle third as it stands, but crucially 8 points ahead of Aston Villa in 5th and 9 clear of Liverpool and Spurs. That's if nothing changes, and we're into the 56th minute. There's time for plenty more to happen tonight, but 1-0 up through Callum Wilson's 12th goal of the season, all in the Premier League. Calvert-Lewin lays it off to McNeil, who was on the right, and now into the centre, plays it between full-back and centre half, and Trippier was wanting Pope to come, and he didn't, and he eventually, the full-back, played it to the goalkeeper, and it got cleared by Newcastle.
Should have came for it, Pope.
There were a couple of instances similar to that on Sunday, weren't there?
Yeah.
Tarkowski up from the back, almost tackled by Bruno, but was able to turn and play it backwards to Gay. Iwobi in off the right wing against the shins of Bruno, straight to Idrissa Gay. Calvert-Lewin can't hold it, and it's run away from him, and Trippier with a first-time clearance, which has gone out just past halfway on the near side. And the Spurs-Manchester United match, which kicked off at 8:15, has just reached half-time. Keane, the right-sided Everton centre-half tonight, over the top for Calvert-Lewin, who's away from the Newcastle defenders. Calvert-Lewin's lifted it across the penalty area, and Doucouré's kept it alive. Onto his left, Doucouré, deflection, and the offside flag comes up. Well, I was waiting for the flag.
Many phases after.
But they don't put it up immediately, do they?
Yeah, no, but in many phases they allow.
Well, he brought it down, and then he lifted it towards the goalposts.
Yeah. And then Doucouré had a touch, pulled it back, another touch, inside, another touch.
Defenders reset. Still 1-0 to Newcastle, that's the main thing. In the white and green against the blue of Everton. Bruno, that's good, and it's for Almiron to chase. Corner of the area, Mikalenko got in the way and plays it down the line. McNeil stopped by Trippier. Longstaff onto the ball. First time to Almiron, and wide again to Longstaff. Mikalenko's challenge against the Newcastle midfielder.
I don't know what Longstaff's moaning about. That's a great tackle.
Mikalenko takes it down the line. Trippier heads forwards. Bruno's got it, and this is Willock just outside the box to Wilson, into the area at the angle. Wilson to Willock, back to Callum Wilson, couldn't get it across to Joelinton. Everton clear, but then Targett has a touch and heads it forwards to Joelinton. Bruno slipping it through. Sean Longstaff with a pullback. Goal kick. Oh, they appeal for corner, Newcastle. There's two players on the referee, and they're still unhappy, United. And Andre Mariner was walking towards Sean Longstaff, who stayed down after he
but he went off the pitch and then he's rolled back on.
Take a look again, Ando, at this.
It's gone through his legs, hasn't it? Watch him roll back on.
They weren't appealing for a foul, were they, of any other sort, after, because he slid in on Longstaff and caught him. Pickford pushed him off the pitch.
Look, there's nothing wrong with it, look. These dark arts are coming out again, aren't they?
More words are being had by the Everton coaching staff. With the fourth official there, looking for a possible penalty. Michael Keane on Sean Longstaff. I told you the challenge, and he came in on him. Referee wants the game to continue, so Chris Kavanagh, I don't know if he looked at that for a long time, but Everton have gone on the attack from the goal kick, and Trippier prevents the corner with a good challenge on Calvert-Lewin. Almiron tries to clear, it's cut out by Onana. We'll follow the play, then we'll review that incident. Everton throw, Mikalenko 20 yards out. Could have had a case because, now Longstaff getting involved with Onana, and Sean Longstaff's gone down again. And Gay is trying to drag Longstaff away. Wilson and Almiron involved in pushing and shoving. Newcastle subs, Isak and Murphy, have come onto the pitch to intervene. Big Dan Burns come off the bench to get involved.
Referee's telling them to get off the pitch.
Newcastle clearly, and Longstaff, and I think with some justification, not happy about the challenge from Keane.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter now, but did you have a chance to see it?
I haven't seen it, no. I haven't got a screen.
Longstaff's having a go at the referee.
Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with him. The referee's right.
He didn't go off the pitch, he's back on his feet. Everton have taken the throw, played into their half of the pitch. Chris Kavanagh had what seemed to be a quick look at the decision, but the referee was just in the process of saying play on as the VAR graphics came on the giant screens in the corners at Goodison Park. That's what the Everton fans think of Longstaff. Newcastle with a throw. Trippier in the right full-back position. 62nd minute. Wilson flicking it on. Keane lobbing it forwards into the box. Share with Calvert-Lewin. Had hands on the striker but won the header. Trippier clears. Wilson has now tripped Tarkowski and conceded a free kick.
Got really sloppy, hasn't it? Really scrappy.
So on BBC Radio Newcastle, they are 1-0 up away from home. Everton fans fired up, getting worked up. Players trying to find an equaliser. Free kick into the box, headed into the hands of Nick Pope, who wanted to go quickly, ran to the edge of the area, and then decided to wait.
No, he didn't want to go quickly. Don't be telling lies.
Eddie Howe says there are no dark arts. They do what they have to do to get results. Almiron playing it back towards Longstaff. It's off the Everton midfielder, Amadou Onana, and it's a goal kick. Eddie has gone to talk to the fourth official now, and that's quite rare. He normally leaves the pitch side protests to Jason Tindall. Anderson, Isak and Murphy warming up. I will put reaction to the match tonight, by the way, on Twitter at BBC Newcastle or the BBC Radio Newcastle Facebook page. Out to the left wing, header inside by Joelinton. Almiron flicking it on. Wilson outside the area, lines up a shot.
Oh dear.
And it's wide of goal at the near side. Callum Wilson, plenty behind it, right-footed. Will be disappointed.
His right foot, didn't it?
That he didn't.
Oh, he's gone wide.
Get it on target though. Haven't created much in the second half, Newcastle. Calvert-Lewin on the left, near to the corner, back to McNeil, who was signed for 20 million from Burnley in the summer. He's won a throw. Another former Burnley player, Kieran Trippier. Mikalenko, about 15 yards out, takes the throw. Calvert-Lewin with a layoff to McNeil, passes it straight to Bruno. Longstaff has to get the ball away, and did. But it wasn't a great pass to him, and then it's lashed over the top by Onana. Goal kick.
It's really scrappy.
The Everton fans appealed for a penalty when Longstaff made the challenge, but we've just seen it again, and it was a clean challenge. 64 minutes. Pope. A long goal kick upfield. Out of Idrissa Gueye, player they re-signed for midfield from Paris Saint-Germain in the summer. Without a win in 5, Everton. And will remain 2 points from safety if Newcastle hold on or increase their lead and win tonight. They've got another throw. United in front of the away section. Target is preparing to take it. Joelinton a few yards in front. Willock down the line. Joelinton runs away, then comes back to the ball and put out by a sliding challenge from Everton. Another Newcastle throw. 1-0 up on BBC Radio Newcastle. Jacob Murphy is ready to come on. Ball has gone behind, and that is a corner kick from the throw down the line. Murphy is, I think, going to put his jacket back on while they wait to introduce him, because they're going to take the corner kick first, away to the right. Newcastle. Bruno in the 6-yard box. Wilson next to goalkeeper Pickford. Trippier whipped into the middle, and it was dipping by the near post, but Tarkowski heads it away. Willock hangs it up towards the far side. Calvert-Lewin there with Almiron, who got around him, got around the back of Calvert-Lewin, but unfortunately for Newcastle, couldn't keep it in. Running out of space and room, Miguel Almiron, and that's an Everton goal kick. Dan Burn is also going to come on. Maybe a wise move with Matt Targett on a yellow card.
Yeah, it could be.
Cher wins the header, but it goes backwards from Pickford's goal kick. Everton now heading back to halfway on this near side. Mikalenko to McNeil. 3 Newcastle players near him. Tarkowski's missed his touch, and Wilson couldn't pinch the ball, gave the defender a shove, and he just got it back to Pickford in time. His forward ball sails out of play. To sarcastic cheers from the away fans. Miguel Almiron, no surprise, taken off with
Hasn't been his type of game, as it's been really scrappy. And
Murphy coming on, and Almiron's first start after injury, following 2 appearances from the bench. And Targett taken off with Byrne, his replacement. Double substitution made by Eddie Howe in the 68th minute. Newcastle 1-0 up.
Yeah. Murphy, somebody that he trusts, knows will do the job, knows will work. Targett on the yellow card.
Targett applauding the supporters. He has to walk around the pitch, the long way around from the far side. Back to Botman and Scher, who's got space right side of the defensive line. Forwards it goes. Wilson takes it down on his chest and then goes wide into Murphy. Turns at the edge of the area. Pressure on Murphy, but he's headed for the line and trying to win a corner. Has he? Yes. First involvement for Jacob Murphy. Corner kick. Newcastle is the outcome. Breezy night on Merseyside. Sean Longstaff's called back to the touchline by Eddie Howe and Jason Tindall. Murphy, like he tends to do for Newcastle corners, hangs back near halfway. Everybody else is up there, and once again they put a few players in the 6-yard box. Trippier, out swinger. It's there to be won, and it's headed behind by Everton.
Corner.
Botman was attacking it. But it was Godfrey, I think, who met it first. And Kieran Trippier to deliver again for Newcastle United. Flicked away, Willock brings it down in the box and then has a goal! Oh! That would have been a spectacular goal from Joe Willock, who brought it down far left side of the penalty area and then hit it on the volley, and it might have taken a touch on the way through.
No, it didn't.
You know, it was Pickford with a diving save near his left-hand post to prevent Joe Willock scoring. An absolute beauty.
Yeah, good save, wasn't it?
Trippier with a third corner. Too high for Wilson. Tarkowski with the header. Everton can't clear. Now they get rid. And Byrne back to Murphy with a big up and under away. Joe Linton gets in front of Mikalenko, goes backwards off the Everton defender. Tarkowski playing it up to Calvert-Lewin, and then Iwobi from right to left. Doucouré challenging with Trippier, who wins the header, and then Gay out of play. And Everton fans exasperated. 20 minutes to go, Newcastle still 1-0 up. What a goal that would have been from Willock, though.
Would have been, yeah, it was a good hit. He's hit it well. Pickford's got across and made the save.
Wilson's gone down holding his head. Whistle's gone. Neil Maupay is going to be brought on by Everton manager Sean Dyche. The French forward who they signed from Brighton in the summer. He's only scored once and appears more from the bench than from the start, Maupay, but he has scored goals against Newcastle in the past. BBC Radio Newcastle. Fabian Schär, diagonal ball from the free kick, straight onto the...
Godfrey again.
Well, Willock didn't take it initially, he's let it run, but he's kept it in near the corner on the far side. Bruno under pressure to Byrne, down the line to Willock. Away from Godfrey, Willock into the penalty area, cuts it back, Joelinton with a header! And that is number 2, Joelinton's 8th of the season, and it might be 3 points coming back to Tyneside. Everton have been hit by a hammer blow from Newcastle. Willock the creator, Joelinton with the finish. 72 minutes, Everton 0, Newcastle United 2.
Well, Godfrey got done for the first one, and he's got done for this one as well. He's got wrong side of Willock. Got to be goal side. He just lets him run, and he just dinks the ball up. It's a simple header for Joelinton. 2-0, game over.
Oh, the away fans on the far side really enjoying their celebrations of that goal. Willock did Godfrey for pace, got to the line, hung it up, and Joe Linton there headed it across goal, one bounce and into the far corner. Pickford had come to the near post, so the far post was free and unguarded, and that's where he put the ball. And his best goal-scoring season in a Newcastle shirt just gets better for the Brazilian. And Newcastle have a 2-goal lead and are closer to a massive result on Merseyside. Longstaff has gone down to the floor again as Newcastle prepare to bring on Alexander Isak. There are a few home fans who are leaving, but most of them have stayed. And Sean Longstaff is the player withdrawn, with Isak introduced. So Wilson and Isak will play together. They still haven't done that from the start yet. Everton have kicked off. Yeah, well. Isak's not even on, and Longstaff has come off. Well, they're telling Longstaff to get back on the pitch. Anyway, Everton have lost the ball. Newcastle had 9 because Wilson was off the pitch having a drink. Andre Mariner not really looking at what's going on pitch side. Now the change has been made. Isak's come running on, Longstaff off. All very strange and confusing, but it's 11 v 11 and they lead 2-0. Into the penalty area from Everton, and Trippier clears from the penalty spot. Wilson takes it. Isak, who's on the left, to Joelinton. Oh, and now the move, and Wilson stopped by a defender. Tarkowski did really good work for Everton. Otherwise, Wilson would have been through with about 40 yards to run, but essentially one-on-one. And it's the home team in possession. Near side, Mikalenko comes in, cuts back. Mope has come on for Amadou Onana, by the way, so like Newcastle, the central midfielder replaced by a centre-forward. Through the middle by Everton, cut out by Cher. Bruno all with loads of room, right side into the final third. Bruno to the left to Wilson, who's gone for it. Oh,
that's brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant.
Sublime from Callum Wilson. A curler into the top right corner of Jordan Pickford's goal for his 13th of the season. 75 minutes on the clock. Everton 0, Newcastle United 3, and it's Wilson's best goal-scoring campaign as a Newcastle United player, and what a way to get there. Absolutely fantastic finish.
Oh, unbelievable finish. Brilliant. Just has one touch, no real backlift, and he's just curled it into Pickford's top left-hand corner. Brilliant finish.
When they broke, it was on Ando. Numbers, space, Bruno carried it, Wilson, one touch, and then what a hit.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one touch, gets it out of his feet. There's not a great deal of pace, he just places it, he just curls it, look at it. In-step, bang, back of the net. Brilliant.
They have scored, Newcastle, 22 goals in 8 games, having managed only 18 in the previous 15 for comparison. Before tonight they were the 5th top scorers in the division, or before this midweek set of games. The goals really are coming now, aren't they? Could they get more?
Oh, against this lot, yeah.
15 minutes to play. Joelinton to Trippier, it's a throw. I'll tell you who hasn't scored for a while, Bruno, since the FA Cup at Sheffield Wednesday. 14 without a goal. He created that one, and they're on the move again. Willock hooking it over to Isak. He'll fancy some of the action. Edge of the area. Back heel to Willock, down the left, taking on Iwobi, and then the cross is blocked. Isak on his chest and hits it, and it's a corner. It didn't reach the goal.
These are falling apart. These are all over the place.
Deflected behind for the corner, and now we're seeing a lot of empty blue seats in Everton areas of Goodison Park as Newcastle try to make this even worse for their opponents.
Could be another half dozen on here.
They might not score them at the start of the game, they might get them all at the end. Trippier, in swinging corner, a lot of pace on the ball, headed over at the near post by an Everton defender. Two of them went up for it. Cher made the run. Byrne might have been near to that as well. Trippier with another corner kick. You listen to BBC Radio Newcastle. It's 3-0. Wilson with 2, Joelinton with the other. Trippier with another one. It's flat. It's Cher. Good save. They're saying it went over the line, but Everton clear it, and no alert on the referee's watch from the goal line technology. So it's throw-in only for Newcastle near to halfway. It remains 3-0, and now Everton bring on the former Sunderland loanee, 22-year-old striker Ellis Sims. Or are they bringing him on? He's ready, but the substitution isn't ready. They're still giving him his instructions.
Dear, oh dear.
So Newcastle...
What instructions are they going to give him? You're 3-0 down.
Score 4 goals.
With 10 minutes to go.
That's his instruction.
Look at me charts. Look at me little drawings.
He got 7 for Sunderland in the first half of the season. 1 Premier League goal for Everton. Good Newcastle move down the right, but Murphy's forward ball blocked by Mikalenko, who drags it back, and Joelinton almost won it. Got his toe on the ball, but has actually presented it to Mopé in Newcastle's half. He's got nowhere to go, really. Just running square with it. Godfrey back down the line for Mopé. High cross, deflection, corner kick.
Got no confidence, no belief at all, Everton, have they? They've just wilted.
They're really in trouble, aren't they, Everton?
Oh.
Big trouble. We've seen it before with Newcastle, but you can see the signs, you understand what it's like. But Everton, this has been happening to them for a few years. Here's the corner, and it's touched in. Well, no clean sheet again for Newcastle and Nick Pope. Dwight McNeil might have got the all-important contact with the ball. His 5th goal of the season, 80th minute. Everton 1, Newcastle United 3.
Did that go straight in?
He took the corner, McNeil, didn't he?
Did. I
thought the player in the middle had flicked it, which was Doucouré.
I think that's gone straight in. No, there's nothing on that, is there?
Yeah, it was McNeil who took the corner, of course. But 2 players threw themselves towards the ball. There were 2 Newcastle defenders. From the first replay, it looked like Doucouré had flicked it, but it's straight in from McNeil from the corner kick. Isak down the left wing as they look to get a 4th Newcastle into the corner. He's taking on 2. Oh, he's beaten them. It's wonderful skill from Isak. What a run, Alexander Isak! It's going to go in! It's Jacob Murphy! Murphy has scored! But Isak gets all the congratulations after some absolutely incredible skill. He took on half the Everton team down the left wing along the goal line, and the ball went in. I don't think it went in from Isak initially, and Murphy was there. He can't stop putting it in the net now, Jacob Murphy, and they celebrate in front of the away fans. Murphy slammed it into the back of Pickford's goal. Everton had scored, and Newcastle go down the other end and make it 4-1.
Oh, how good is this boy? Quick feet, running with the ball. How quick is he running with the ball? He just turns Everton players inside out. Turns inside 2 of them, does it again, gets the byline, along the byline. Oh, incredible, brilliant.
That run and
that
turn
is unbelievable.
He has sent Michael Keane. He's made him dizzy.
Gets a couple of bovrils while you're there, will you?
And it didn't go in off Isak, who played it against Pickford actually off the outside of his right boot, and off Pickford's chest it hit Tarkowski and ran along the line, and Wilson, close to a first Newcastle hat-trick, couldn't get a touch, but Murphy there to score, and off the bench another goal, and here goes Isak. They'll be terrified of going near him as he instead elects to pass this time inside to Willock. so he didn't run. And Doucouré with nice skill in midfield. We're in the 83rd minute. It's 4-1, and they just need 2 more to emulate what they did on Sunday. And Sims chases a ball down into the corner, prevents a goal kick. Murphy, when the goal went in, was pointing at Isak, and it was to make sure he got the credit for that, and I'm sure he will. It is something that you'll want to watch again and again. What a signing, Alexander Isak. Some people doubted whether he was worth it. Joelinton pushes it over to Burn. They are not finished, Newcastle. With 7 minutes to go, they want more goals. Here on BBC Radio Newcastle, Isak has taken it inside. Bruno gets away from a couple of challenges. Tarkowski with a clearance. Botman onto the ball. It's forwards by Newcastle. Everton win it. Sims over to Doucouré. Out to the right wing. Mopé can't keep it in. Oh, he has kept it in. Burn plays it against his old Brighton teammate and then wins a goal kick. Tottenham will pull one back against Manchester United. They are now 2-1 down. Botman's off the pitch after being chased down by Sims. They've adapted the words. Just took my headset off so I could hear it clearly. To Que Sera, Sera. Not going to Wembley, we're going to Italy. That's what they're singing. European football is getting closer for Newcastle. Joelinton in off the right wing. 4-1 up on BBC Radio Newcastle. Everton are putting stewards around the side of the pitch, perhaps fearing that some fans may encroach, may come on. This is forwards to Wilson, who's swung it round the corner.
They always do that here.
Yeah. Towards Joelinton, but Joelinton didn't make the run, and it's an Everton goal kick.
There's no fans left to come on.
Well, Anthony Gordon, by the way, a bit like Ryan Fraser at Bournemouth a couple of months ago. The Bournemouth fans don't think a lot of Ryan Fraser because of the way he left. Different to Gordon. He hasn't gone off the bench to warm up at all, has he?
No.
Fraser didn't when he returned to his old club. Fabian Schär, away it goes, and Pickford leaves the box. And gives it the hammer, and a backpedaling Pope. With a catch. Schär. Trippier to Willock, space in midfield around his
Gordon's coming on.
Arsenal colleague Alex Iwobi. Well, there is Anthony Gordon. I haven't seen him run down the touchline to warm up. He did at half-time. Isak's away again from Godfrey on the left into the penalty area. Wilson can't get there, and it's come out to Trippier 30 yards from goal. It's a good pass to Willock in space, and Isak makes the run and gets it in the penalty box, but his shot is blocked. Bruno on his thigh, edge of the area to Willock. Stopped by Everton's James Garner, who's also been brought on. I completely missed that substitution.
So did I.
Yeah, I think we were busy recovering from the Isak goal. Well, Elliot Anderson, the boos are not for him. Joe Willock is getting a breather with Anderson his replacement, but Callum Wilson is still waiting for a first treble as a Newcastle player. His night is over. Gordon will be his replacement, and Anderson on for Willock.
Yeah, he's had a good game, Wilson. He's been excellent. He's scored 2 goals, but his overall game has been superb. Willock's been a lot better second half and all, hasn't he? Didn't really get involved first half. Has had more of an influence on the game in the second half.
BBC Radio Newcastle 4-1 to Newcastle United. with 3 minutes of normal time to go, and Anthony Gordon, who joined Everton's academy at the age of 11, made his debut at 16 in the Europa League, is on. There's only 2 Everton players who've scored more goals for the Toffees than Gordon this season. McNeil and Gray, who's on the bench. He's onto the left wing, and Anderson on the right side has won a throw. Could you imagine if he scores his first Newcastle goal tonight? Trippier taking that throw back to him from Joe Linton, and a backpedaling Botman receives it behind the centre circle. Byrne opens up his body, takes it. Gordon's first touch, comes inside, gives it to Anderson and back again. Isak's now through the middle. Gordon playing left wing to Bruno, spins, beats his man, and then gets tackled by Mope, but it's come back to Newcastle. Gordon to Byrne, Anderson to run and attack the penalty area. Challenge on Anderson, takes the ball away. Everton then play it against Gordon, and it's into the hands of Pickford. 4-1 to United. Pickford drops it and starts to run it forwards.
Dribbling it better than most of the outfield players have.
In the middle of his own half. It's too long for Sims. And Cher is there. And it's Newcastle through Pope after Cher saw it back to the keeper, who have possession from the back. And Isak on for Murphy. The flag stays down, he could run. Gordon in the box on the far side. Murphy goes on the outside, and has he won a corner? Yes, despite the attempts of Mikalenko to keep it in. A minute of normal time to play. 4-1.
Comfortable, very comfortable. Had to dig in first half, had to handle the physicality of it, but once the second goal went in, that was it.
Jacob Murphy will take the corner. It's short to Anderson. Trippier's given him an option. Corner of the area. Back to Trippier. It's delivered towards the back of the box and headed away. Cher takes it. Comes inside. He might hit this, Fabian Cher. He has! Oh, that's a beauty! Fabian Cher gets goal number 5 with his first since the opening weekend. Long-range effort from the Swiss defender, curling it into the far corner around Jordan Pickford. 90th minute, Everton 1, Newcastle United 5. Wow.
I said we could get 6. Still time. Great finish, isn't it? Backed off, and you can't back off somebody who strikes a ball like he does. Just opened up for him, and he's just curled it past Pickford, who had no chance. Great finish.
A minimum of 5 additional minutes after 5 goals scored by Newcastle at Everton. This has been a horrible place to come. There have been some shocking defeats here, some awful performances. They're having a look at the goal for a possible offside. There's nobody offside in the middle. Oh, it's from the initial ball in. This might get chalked off. Oh, for goodness sake. From the cross in, from the far side, from the right initially, from Trippier's ball. But does it even reach players who are there? It's going to be ruled out. It's offside. Wow. There's somebody offside in the middle. It's Dan Byrne, it looks like. He is ahead of the last defender. VAR can get in the bin. What a shame for Fabian Cher. It was a lovely goal, and they thought they had 5. They've got a few minutes to go and get another goal, and you would not say it would not happen as Gordon gives Godfrey the slip away down the left. Plenty of blue shirts back. They make a challenge, and Keane clips it away. Iwobi to Doucouré. Newcastle with so much desire to win the ball back. And Byrne, who scored here last season for Brighton, the player offside to deny Cher his goal, has conceded a throw. What a hit, though. I mean,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't count. It's like Calvert-Lewin's in the first half, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a quality finish, but you can never celebrate, can you?
Newcastle win the ball back, their half of the field. On to Anderson. Isak turns it to his left.
Go on.
First time to Gordon, back through for Isak.
Go on, son.
Numbers in this attack. Here's Bruno, and this is Jacob Murphy.
Oh, he's got to score. He's got to
Just
score.
over the top. Murphy left-footed. Inside the area. Fancied him to make it 5. Thought Bruno might have taken it on.
Bruno's done great. He's just rolled it square to him. Could have taken it on. But Murphy's in a better position. First time, little ball. Got to hit the target.
In mitigation, McNeil's throwing himself at it, and there's another defensive player there as well, making a challenge to try and get a block in. BBC Radio Newcastle, it's back to 4-1 to Newcastle. Joe Linton with a challenge on McNeil, and that's a free kick for Everton. We're into additional time. If you want to send us a WhatsApp message, Ando will be here with Dom in the studio until 10, and we'll try and read out some comments. BBC at the start, 08000 321 333. Or if you just want to text, SMS, BBC at the start of that message, shorter number for texts, 81333. Jordan Pickford being serenaded.
Keeper.
Pope lets the free kick go behind. Goal kick. Wilson with 2, Joe Linton with 1, Murphy off the bench with another. Share disallowed. McNeil scored direct from a corner for Everton. And they had one, what would have been an equaliser in the first half, disallowed for offside, the home team. Newcastle, 6 games remaining after this to confirm their place in Europe for next season. Mikalenko's header, Joe Linton down to Bruno, touches it back to Elliot Anderson. Byrne has gone for Anderson with the return ball in behind Keane, who has managed to make the header. And then Anderson gets dragged down off the pitch from a challenge from Doucouré. It's a throw-in only for Newcastle. Taken by Byrne to Bruno, that's a foul. And it's a yellow card for Neal Maupay. Dan Byrne gets in the way. Maupay's got a bit of that about him.
Well, he had to get a kick or something tonight, Maupay.
Byrne has helped his old teammate out there, stopped him getting a piece of Joe Linton's mind. Deep into added on time. Maupay apologises to Bruno for the trip. They could get goal number 5 now. Here on BBC Radio Newcastle. Trippier to take the free kick. Don't be offside. In it comes. It's a good one as well. Round the back, Anderson just beaten to it by a defender. It's a corner.
Yeah.
On the right.
It's good defending. It's a great ball whipped in. Anderson steaming in, back post.
Denied his goal at Nottingham Forest by VAR incorrectly. There's the final whistle. It's 4 for Newcastle, only 1 for Everton. It's another massive win. Scoring goals, picking up points, tightening their hold on not just a European place, but a Champions League spot, and getting ever closer to a return to European action next season. A 4-1 win at Goodison Park, 1-0 at the break, 3 more in the second half. Everton pulled one back. Cher had one disallowed by VAR. He's talking to the referee as the handshakes happen between the 2 sets of players. But John Anderson, Everton really needed a win in their quest to avoid relegation. A huge night for them, and they were up for it at the start. Newcastle got the first goal and then really didn't look back.
No, first half was very, very scrappy. It wasn't the best. There wasn't a great deal of football played. Everton tried to disrupt everything, got in our faces, tried to make it a real physical battle. As soon as the second goal went in, though, that was it. Everton just collapsed like a deck of cards. And 10 goals in 2 games to come away from here and score another 4. Been first class again. Attitude, different type of win tonight. Had to dig in. You know, it wasn't that silky football, high press. You know, we had to go and win the battles, put our foot in, not get bullied. We did all that, and it's a huge, huge win.
Brilliant second half from Newcastle with the 3 goals. The Joelinton header created by a good run from Willock. The Wilson one into the top corner. Wow, what a hit. But then the fourth, the tap in from Murphy, was all about Alexander Isak with the most incredible skill and run down the left side to set up the chance. I haven't seen anything like that. It was absolutely sensational.
Oh, it was brilliant. I mean, he's just so quick running with the ball, but he's turned Everton defenders inside out, not just once but twice. Then he's got along the byline. Unbelievable bit of skill. I mean, incredible. There's no way in the world that Murphy's going to miss.
To make life harder for Everton, Bournemouth won at Southampton. The Southampton equaliser, I think, that we were told about, was disallowed. That must have been VAR'd as well. So Everton 2 points from safety. Newcastle, though, have moved 8 points clear of the teams outside the Champions League places. Still third on 62 points. It is the first time they have reached 60 points in the Premier League, broken that barrier since 2011-12, and only the second time they've got more than 60 points in the Premier League in 18 seasons. All these little records and achievements being set and broken by Eddie Howe and his players this season. They're in front of the away fans who've all stayed, making all the noise on the far side. Most of the Everton supporters have gone. Final thought from you, Ando, before we hand back to the studio, but you can send us a message on WhatsApp 08000 321 333, put BBC at the start, and follow at BBC Newcastle on Twitter to get some reaction from Eddie Howe later tonight. We talked about a different way to win.
Yeah.
It's a really big week for them. Spurs, Everton and Southampton, a 3-game week as the manager puts it. They've got 6 points. If they can get 9 points and win on Sunday, then you would say that they are within touching distance of Europe. It's such a critical week this in their season at this point.
Look,
with the fixtures they've got.
Yeah, they've all been critical. Look, if to put 6 past Spurs, to come here and put 4 past Everton, and then you've got a side who looks like they're already relegated in Southampton. You know, you can't see a way out of it for them. You've got them at home. You know, huge, huge opportunity. And the way that they're playing at this moment in time and the way that they're going about it, you wouldn't bet against them scoring another hatful of goals on Sunday.
We'll be there on BBC Radio Newcastle. So if you're not going to St James's Park, be with us. We'll have the full commentary, as we always do, exclusively of every Newcastle United match and every Sunderland match. And on Friday, with Matt Bailey at breakfast just after 9 o'clock, you can win on BBC Radio Newcastle a pair of tickets to Newcastle against Southampton. So well worth listening to Matt Bailey at breakfast as always. But on Friday morning just after 9, we'll be giving away a pair of tickets to the big game at St James's Park on Sunday, as the players in white and green, the kit that they finally won a game in, Newcastle this season, leave the field on the near side, down the steps and along the tunnel to celebrate and reflect on a massive win here at Goodison Park. It has finished Everton 1, Newcastle United 4.
Matthew Raisbeck, thank you very much indeed. John Anderson, stay where you are. I've got lots of messages to put to you in just a moment. Send your messages in 81333 start. Your messages with letters BBC on WhatsApp as well, 08000 321 333. Again, starting those messages with the letters BBC. As Fraser mentioned, 2 other games in the Premier League tonight. Bournemouth have beaten Southampton 1-0. Marcus Tavernier with the goal for Bournemouth. And we're still playing between Tottenham and Manchester United. Manchester United winning 2-1 there. Jadon Sancho and Marcus Rashford with the goals for Manchester United in that one. One game in the Championship tonight. 7 minutes left to play between Rotherham and Cardiff. It's 1-1 there. Our main focus there on BBC Radio Newcastle tonight has been Newcastle's emphatic 4-1 victory over Everton at Goodison this evening. We're here till 10 o'clock tonight, so do get your messages in to John Anderson and Nando. We'll begin with this message from Let's have a look. It's from Michael in Wickham, who says, poor game overall, but a great result, and fabulous commentary tonight as well. Thank you, fellas. Doesn't this show we can win ugly in a mainly scrappy match? We as well off spectacle, thrashings against glamorous opposition like we did this weekend. True sign of a team really going places. Ando, just summing up his point there, I guess Newcastle winning by plenty of goals, but maybe not having the best performance either.
No, look, we had to dig in tonight. We weren't allowed to play the football that we played on Sunday against Spurs. Everton didn't stand off us the way that Spurs did. They didn't give us the room to play. We had to go and win individual battles, physical battles. We did that. We won the collective battle in the end as well. First half was poor. It wasn't a great deal between either side in the first half. We obviously got the goal. As soon as the second goal went in, though, Everton collapsed like a deck of cards, to be quite honest, Tom. And we could have had another 6 tonight. You know, the way the game was going, we could have got 6 here again. But to come away from home, score 4 goals. There's all different ways of winning football matches. Look, at everybody loved the way that we played at the weekend against Spurs, the football, the high press, the energy. But it was all about digging in tonight and battling, and we did that, and we showed that we can win games in different ways.
Message from Kenny as well on WhatsApp, 08000 321 333. He says, may have been sloppy, but a win is a win. How are the lads? Let's just go through some of the goals, and what would be a pick of the bunch? Because there's a couple of there to go at. You've got Wilson's second.
Obviously Wilson's is a quality finish. You know, it's played into him, gets it out of his feet, edge of the penalty area, and he just bends it in the top left-hand corner. Pickford's got no chance. It was a wonderful finish. But the Murphy one, I mean, what Isak does, it's unbelievable. I couldn't stop laughing. It was
he turned Michael Keane inside out, didn't he?
He turned everybody inside out. I'm sat here watching it. He turned me inside out because he picks it up, he takes off down the left side, and he leaves Godfrey for dead. I mean, he's just so quick running with the ball. Then he turns Godfrey one way, then he turns Keane the other way. Then he comes back and does it again, and he gets along the touchline, and he just rolls it across. And there's no way in the world that Murphy's going to miss. It's an unbelievable bit of skill. You know, it's so much quality. What a player this boy is.
Yeah, I guess he's proven his worth now as well. This is from William, another WhatsApp. He says, Everton's first half disallowed goal was pivotal, but our quality shone through in the second half. Eddie Howe's selections and tactics spot on once again, because he did make some changes to the lineup tonight, which probably you weren't expecting either.
I thought he would have named an unchanged side because that's what he's done for the majority of the season, but he obviously felt he needed to make those changes. Target came in, he did all right, looked a little bit rusty as you would expect because he hasn't played a great deal of football. Picked up a yellow card as well. He substituted him for Dan Bourne. You know, he did okay. He swapped Wilson for Isak. Wilson was brilliant. His hold-up play, I know he scored. Apart from his 2 goals, his all-round play was just supreme. It was brilliant. You know, so look, we can have no complaints whatsoever. Brought Almiron on in tonight. It was all a little bit of hustle bustle for him, to be fair. Passed him by a little bit, but he did as usual. He worked the socks off, got up and down. You know, and it's all about making the right decisions. And as far as this season goes, Eddie Howe hasn't made too many bad decisions. Every decision that he's made seems to have been the right one. So nobody can have any complaints again tonight.